Hello, I'm Courtney Graham, and I'm going to be discussing the case on due diligence, private placement offerings, private placement memorandums, and term sheets. We'll start with due diligence. Due diligence, in simple terms, is the investigation or audit of a potential investment. It attempts to reduce risk to a level of comfort for investors. There are many reasons why due diligence might be done. It could be done to ensure that the business is what it appears to be, identify potential defects that may kill a deal, avoid bad business transactions, gain information that can be used to value a potential business, and negotiate price concerns. Due diligence begins once a business opportunity arises and begins with a checklist of needed information ranging from financial statements to employee documents. The amount of due diligence depends on the deal, but it is important to remember that it's impossible to reduce all risk associated with an investment. Private placement. What is private placement? According to entrepreneurship.org, a private placement offering generally means any type of shares issued by a small or growing company to raise capital. Because they are done through private companies, it is not required to be registered with the Securities Exchange Commission. The investor's approach for private placement offerings must be accredited and considered high wealth groups, for example, pension funds, mutual funds, insurance companies, and large banks. And in order to be termed accredited, an investor must have a net worth, not including their primary home, of at least $1 million, or have an income exceeding $200,000, or a joint income with a spouse of $300,000 in each of the 2 most recent years. The advantages of a private placement offering is that because it's not required to register with the SEC and it's not required to hire a broker, it tends to be less expensive and less time consuming. It's also easier for more risky companies to raise capital, and issuers have the ability to choose their investors that they want to work with. They might choose someone that has the same goals as themselves or someone that they just might get along with better. The disadvantages of private placement offerings is that it may be difficult to find investors because of the extra risk associated with private placement offerings. Because they don't have to register with the SEC, there's less regulation, and oftentimes the companies needing capital are smaller and smaller because they're newer. A private placement memorandum is a document that is created by the issuer and writes out the important information that an investor can use in determining the risk associated with an investment. Things included in this document are background information, objectives of an investment, strategies, limitations, management fees, risk factors, conflict of interest, and tax issues. The memorandum is a very important document because it acts like an insurance policy to show what exactly you informs the investor. It is legally required to provide enough information to an investor in order for them to make an informed decision on the purchase. And lastly, a term sheet. It is a non-binding agreement of substantial terms and conditions of a business agreement. Once executed, it then becomes the legal guide to form a final agreement. It is important to keep these documents very detailed and informative because ambiguous term sheets can lead to long, drawn out negotiations resulting in wasted time and money. Thank you.